Let's go. Set it up.
Top of the show.
Form, check form. Cover down.
Do it again.
Run it back.
And we'll see you at the show.
Welcome back to On a Water Break. This is a podcast about everything in the marching arts. You name it, we probably already plan on talking about it. There is just so much that we want to talk about. We have had some great episodes so far, and we are looking forward to sharing more information, news, and advice with you today. So, hi guys. Let's say hello to the staff. What has been going on? How's everybody doing?
Hey.
Yo, yo.
Hey.
Hi.
I don't know about you guys, but I just got back from the Macy's parade, and that was an awesome experience. I know we're going to do a whole episode on it, so I'm like jumping in my seat about how excited I am for that.
I can't wait to talk about it too.
I loved all the pictures you took with all of the cards. I was like. It was so cute.
Oh, thank you. Tom, how are things going over in Bandland?
Bandland here in California is over, thankfully. We are done and we are ready to move on to winter. Happily ready to move on to winter. How about everybody else?
We have moved on to winter guard season here in Texas. Thank God.
What's the kind of feeling? I'm kind of getting the vibes that you guys are like more all about the winter season than the fall season.
It's just really hot in Texas, so it's nice to go inside.
Yeah, it's weird in Southern California because it never really gets that cold or rainy, so everyone just keeps rehearsing outside.
Yeah, that is a benefit. Being from the East Coast, coming out to the West Coast, it's nice being able to rehearse kind of wherever you want all year round.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of somebody who has been to a lot of different places and teaching in a lot of different places, I want to introduce our guest clinician this week. She deserves a really big introduction with trumpets, a full snare line, 21 rifle 7, turnaround salute for the work she's been doing with the diversity in our activity. This is Nicole Younger.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I can take over the world now. That was awesome. I appreciate that.
So Nicole, a little bit of a rundown on what I have about you is that you've instructed scholastic and independent color guard programs up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, Texas, and New York. You have been a color guard staff member at Genesis Drum Corps, the Colts, where you also spent 2 years as the horn line choreographer. So definitely got some more diversity there. You also spent 3 years with Monarch Independent Percussion as the movement specialist. They went to their first season of World Class with you and finished in the top 10. And you are currently setting your sights on the judging side of marching arts. In 2020, you started your judge training journey online, and you've been working on getting your DCI judge certification, and you're actively judging marching band shows in your area.
I am.
Yeah, so tell us about that.
Wow. Okay, so I do sound busy. I get it now. It's just because it's spread out now. It's been fun. I mean, I think ever since 2020, when the pandemic happened, a lot of people took a pivot, and I did. I pivot, and my pivot went towards like diversity and inclusion. The world was almost definitely on fire, so I was like, "Where's the fire extinguisher?" But I looked towards other things that I didn't see. I didn't see a lot happening, and I didn't see a lot happening in as far as seeing people that look like me, on the other side of the floor, like growing up. And I started in the 90s when I was spinning, and performing. And I just never saw anybody that looked like me. And then the more that we, evolve into this activity, you see a lot more different colors. I see a lot more kids that look like me. And there are a lot more people that look like me that are being directors and techs right now. But if we get to the other side of the floor, we don't have that. So that's one of my biggest reasons for doing my judging training. The other is really diving in. I've always been like, ooh, the DA, video, or sorry, the DA tape has always been one that I like, clamored to. And I was like, I want to listen to this and I want to get as much out of it as I can. And so I went straight to that. I do GE mainly because reaction. I'm a reactionary person. But also that's what I wanted to do and I wanted to hear and I wanted to, be that voice that someone else could get something from, even if it's just one thing, they can get something from it.
So I actually first heard about you whenever you founded this awesome program called The Cookout.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that more in a minute. But so tell us we have some questions for you for today, and not just from me, but from our whole panel. What is your earliest memory in the marching arts? Let's start there.
Well, I'm sure everybody has been in that, been in this atmosphere, but like obviously not with me. But it was the first time I ever auditioned, and I didn't know how to spin until the night before the audition that I went on.
Ooh.
Yeah, my best friend at the time, still a really good childhood friend. Her name's Colby. She's very good flag. She marched. Actually, Whitney, I think you guys marched together at Carolina Crown. And we grew up together. We went to middle school and high school together. I still go to her house for Christmas time to see her and her kids. But she was trying to teach me drop spins the night before. And we went and, auditioned the next day. And I did a lot of crying throughout the whole day until we got to the movement part and I felt better. And, I just went home with a bunch of bruises. But yeah, that's my earliest memory.
Hey, Nicole, you were talking about getting into judging and doing DA. I'm a percussion guy, long-time percussion guy, my whole life. I started judging about 2 years ago, and my favorite caption actually is to do DA for color guard.
Congrats.
What do you love about that caption that draws you to it?
I feel like the DA tape is for the staff. Because everything else I feel is much more for the kids to listen to. I think if the kids listen to DA, they have a lot of questions. I'm not saying that they can't listen to it, but it is more geared towards the staff. And I like to look at things in the macros. And so like, I'll see how like something in the corner is going to tie into what's, bringing everything to light down here, and how like this curvilinear form is, conducive. It's just all how everything flows together. Also too, I'm ADHD. So if I can back up off of things and see everything at one time, that makes more sense to me. If I'm zeroed in on something, somebody could like move a pinky finger and I'm like, what was that? So I like to look at the whole picture.
Cool.
Hey, Nicole, it's Chris. I have a question for you. What do you think are some of the best trends happening in the marching arts right now? Is it like costumes or props or amplification or storytelling? Just what do you see as like the trends that are really helping the activity grow?
I really do like the electronics. I mean, electronics has been in, the marching arts for a while. And I'm talking more about this on the drum corps and marching band side.
Yeah.
Because it just brings another layer of performance that you don't see. Like it's the audio matching the visual, but then it's the visual from not just the color guard or, but it's the horn line, also matching that audio.
Agreed.
I really, really like that. And to bring that into like the color guard side of things, we all have like cut music for winter guard. When they start to put in more things like it's a soundscape, it adds another layer. And so it just gives more I call the show meat and potatoes. It gives it more to the meal, so to speak. So yes, the anything more creative on the audio side.
Agreed. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nicole, this is slightly unrelated, just slightly. What is your favorite show that you've ever performed in?
Oh, favorite show that I ever performed in. Actually, I know this. Yeah, gosh, now I feel bad for pausing so long. But it's Shostakovich. When I was with Patriots, I had my own version of a perfect season. Close to perfect season. I can remember a regional that was not good, but yeah, that show was great. I loved my flag line. Like we all shared. It was a 16-person flag line, but man, we shared a brain come finals night, and that was great. There was a 1.5 toss that people lost their minds over, and I'm like, are they clapping for the flags?
And that's a winter show, right?
What's that?
And that was a winter show?
That was a winter show. Mm-hmm.
What year was that?
2002.
Okay.
I think it was 2002. Mm-hmm.
We're really testing your knowledge and memory on this here.
No. What's been your favorite show to teach so far?
I think it was the first year of Origins with Whitney, Where Dreams Begin, because that was just a coming together of minds and, something new, and not to mention like something new, and then just doing a really good job the first year. Like, it was a special cast. It was a special cast and special staff, like everyone just came together off of a website, not off of anything that they knew. And then once we put everything together, it was just so beautiful. And then it had some dark moments. And I like all of those things when they are put together in the right way.
Yeah, I was only really there for like the end of the season, but that group was really talented. They were so much fun to teach, and I worked with the dancers a lot and cleaning them, and it was a good time, and it was a great show, and it was the beginning of something really wonderful for Origins.
That is awesome. So, beginning wonderful things. Tell us a little bit more about the Cookout. So you started this, and this was also like kind of in 2020 when all that stuff was going on too, right?
Yes. So when we were in lockdown, that's when I noticed for myself, I started to notice some things, like when you're not running so much, you just start to notice some things about yourself.
Oh, for sure.
And I did not only, notice those things, but like we had also, Vincent Thomas had reached out, and he was like, I want to reach out to all of our directors and teachers of color in the marching arts activity and see how they're doing right now. And I was like, this is amazing, because I remember during that time I had to write a rifle ditty. And I had heard about something that had happened in the news about the man walking his dog in Central Park, or he was taking pictures of a bird in Central Park. I don't know if you remember that. And, the woman with the dog called the police. And I remember how I felt that day. And I was trying to be, write this happy ditty, and it just wasn't coming together for me. And so then I was like, okay, I'm going to go inside and just have a seat. And so I went inside and have a seat. And then Vincent called me. He was like, we're going to put this Zoom call together, and I want you to do a testimony at the beginning of it. And I was just like, that's great. And it was called Lean On, Lean In, Lean With. And honestly, I didn't know until we started that I knew. I was like, oh, therapy is probably a really good thing right now. And it was good to actually have that. And we had directors, color guard directors and teachers and technicians of color from all over do this Zoom call. And we all talked about how we were doing and how we are thinking about, either returning to, teaching color guard, or where you're pivoting to, or where you think you're pivoting to, and how you're doing, and are you doing, it's okay to talk about all that stuff. And we definitely did that. We did it like once a month. And it was a great thing to look forward to. And as everyone got busier, it kind of, trailed off, but that's where that began. And I remember talking to Vincent and I said, wouldn't it be amazing? Because I would look at the screen and see this Brady Bunch screen of all these beautiful faces that I had never met before. And I thought, how awful is that? I really want to meet these people and I really want to see them in person and hug them, because like right now I'm hugging my laptop and saying it's them. But like having some really, really good conversations with these people. And then, I was just like, oh, I can't leave it at this. And when we didn't have it for a while, I was like, oh, I really miss this. And so I was like, okay, let's try and get this going in person. And once I did that, I was like, this is a lot for one person to do. So I reached out and I was like, anybody that's gonna, wants to help, let me know. And I had, Andre Williams, he said yes. Bianca Wallace, she said yes. Matt Miller, he said yes. And then Martell Pearson, he said yes too. And all these people are in different states. None of us are in the same state. And they helped to, put this together, make it a real thing. And we were just like, oh, this would just be a great thing that everyone should, be a part of, not just people of color, like white people, Asian people, Black people, Latino people, like come together to celebrate people of color in the activity and what their contribution is towards this activity. So, in the first year, we did that. And honestly, it went off great. I was like, I'm still super excited, and I get shaky talking about it because it's so important to me. So yeah, that's how that happened.
That's the thing that amazes me so much. Like, you've done so much work and you've been such an icon for this whole movement. And it amazes me because there are so many of us that really could use like the therapy that you were mentioning. Like, oh yeah, we really, and I think a lot of people had that same realization whenever lockdown happened. But the fact that you were able to take it and run with it and build something so beautiful out of it, like that just warms my heart. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I feel like I was like, I think I need this. I think a lot of people need this. So, and this is the second year for it. It's going to be held the day after WGI finals. It's at headquarters. We do a couple of things. So I just want to know if it's okay for me to like gush about what we're doing really quick. Is that okay?
For sure.
Okay. All right. So last year we gave out one scholarship, and that was to Marcus Kane. He was in, oh goodness, I forget the name of that guard, but Marcus Kane was the recipient of it, and it was I think it was open guard. We're giving out 2 of those this year because we have enough sponsorship from it to do nice. 2. We are giving out. And I can give a little bit of this. It's kind of like a giveaway, but it's more geared towards the lines of giving back. We are going to be basically giving a show in a box to a program that is smaller and that has a director that is either just like fresh out of high school, used to be the captain, and that could use that mentorship and that help and getting those things done. So we've got one of those giveaways going on. And obviously that's going to be more geared towards hopefully the band directors that, know more about that, to tell us, hey, this could be a really good thing for this group, cost effectively and down the line for, that director. And then we have tiers of flags that we're giving away to the same, kinds of groups. You can get, a set of flags that's, one tier. And then the next one would be digitally printed, flags. And then the third one is, digitally printed flags and the printed uniforms. So we're doing a lot of giveaways and giving back. That was one of the biggest things is that I wanted to keep evolving with this is that we want to make sure that next generation of color guard gets their foot in the door as much as anybody else can.
That's so awesome. And how can I find you guys? Like, well, how can our listeners find you? How can they find the Cookout? Where on social media can they see all of this amazing work that you're doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you asked. We're on Facebook. It's the Cookout, and that we have a Facebook page. And then on Instagram, it's the Cookout CG. And yep, so those are the most places. And then, any of us who are part of the admin team, we definitely use our own personal Facebooks to, get things out.
All right. Well, it is time to start rehearsal. So let's take this show on the road. Thank you so much, Nicole.
On a Water Break is teaming up with Style Plus, Guard Closet, and Marching Arts Education to do some great giveaways this winter. The first is 2 $500 scholarships to 2 performers in an independent percussion, winds, or color guard competing in WGI this winter. That's right, 1 for a guard person and 1 for a winds or percussion individual. If that's not amazing enough, we will also be awarding to 2 groups a set of 20 Style Plus performance tops or a set of 20 unitards. 1 set of unitards for the winning color guard and 1 set of performance tops to a winds or percussion group. Check out more information about this opportunity on our website at onawaterbreak.com. Everyone that registers will receive a free month of service from Marching Arts Education and all their amazing educational offerings. The winners will also be invited to be panelists on our podcast throughout the winter season. You'll tell us about your experiences as a performer and your insights into what's happening in the marching arts. Again, check out our website at onawaterbreak.com for information about applying for these opportunities.
All right, guys, take 10. Now is the time in rehearsal when we solve everyone's issues, or at least we try to. We are marching band staff, not miracle workers. So let's get going. Nicole, our guest clinician, has stuck around today, and she is ready to give her advice. So let's get right on with our first listener question, number 1. How do you know when it's appropriate to upgrade or downgrade the level of competitiveness? So whether you want to compete, not compete, go to more shows, go to less shows for your program. So Nicole, do you want to start us off on this?
Yeah. And I think it may be, obviously it's, going to be towards each program, but look at what they're doing, and it's okay to ask them, if you're going from a program that specifically is a, let me just perform for the football team. And, at halftime, and you want to say, hey, do you guys want to actually compete during winter? See what they say. Yeah, that's just the easiest way to start.
Yeah, and I jump off what Nicole's talking about too, to use the fall season as a litmus test to see the abilities and the strengths and weaknesses of the ensemble itself. If you have a particularly strong rifle line, for example, then if they're going to be doing a winter show, then I think you can apply the things that they were doing in fall and maybe add another element to what they're doing to add the difficulty level up a little bit. But I just think that you look at the strengths and weaknesses of your ensemble, then you write the show to appropriately highlight those strengths.
All right, I think those are both excellent responses. So let's move on to number 2. How do you work with a staff member who has become a poor fit for the growth of your program? So for example, maybe they're becoming too impatient or too demanding with the performers. Maybe they're just not working in the same capacity that they used to work. They're not getting stuff done as quickly as they used to. Just something that has changed. How would you go about working with that?
Ooh, that's a tough one because we're usually all friends too. That's a fine line.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But if you're good friends with these people, it's okay to sit down with them and be like, hey, what's going on?
Yep.
Right, for sure.
And sometimes it just takes that, just to sit down and say, are you okay? What's happening? You seem super, agitated or whatever, whatever you need to. But I think on the other side of things too, if you're not like very good friends with the people that you're teaching with, you know what I mean? And maybe it's the first year with them, or maybe it's a grandfathering thing, you know, you can just be like, this is what I'm noticing. And this is, I mean, I know it's super uncomfortable, but actually in this day and age, you got to get real comfortable with being uncomfortable to get to the other side of what you need to get to.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I just ran into that probably about a year ago, and I had to let that person know, you know, have you not noticed the kids are not responding to you anymore?
Mm-hmm.
You know, take that into check.
I'm sure if I heard something like that too, I'd be like, oh, well.
Yeah, that's a little light comes on, maybe, you hope.
Hopefully. It's just like, oh, you're here to teach, right? Okay, it's not working.
If not, they just don't get a phone call the next fall.
I mean, if you have that conversation with somebody too, I don't really talk about it very much, but this actually kind of happened at Spintronics. You know, my friend, I had a friend who was running it with me, and we, you know, she was with me for a really long time, and it just kind of got to a point where she was really trying to do what she could, what she had been doing, and be there for me because we'd been friends for so long, even though her heart wasn't necessarily in it as much anymore. And, you know, by sitting down and having that conversation with her, we ended up having it on the phone, sadly, instead of face to face. But like just sitting down and having that conversation, it kind of helped us both to realize at the same time, like, okay, this is time to move on. And it's not, you know, we're not trying to move on with hard feelings or anything. It's just, this is the point we've come to. And I think that's, especially working with friends, that's really important to be able to leave space to have those conversations, because you don't want to harm the friendship ultimately, you know, if you're still going to be friends with this person afterwards.
Yeah, it's always tough. But we have to always remember it is a job.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a job to do. It's not a, you know, pal hangout.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes being, and especially if you are a director, like you don't always have to just, you know, not play, but be like the voice of reason to the kids. Sometimes you have to be the voice of reasons to your tech. Sometimes you have to be the voice of reasons to like your right hand. So all of that plays into each other.
Okay, this next listener question actually kind of plays into that as well, talking about being that voice for your students. So how do you support your students who audition for an outside ensemble that might be far beyond their current reach? So let's say you're teaching at a developing high school program and a student wants to go audition for a world-class ensemble, like, and there's no way that they're going to make it in that world-class ensemble, but they really want it. Like, how do you support that? How do you, you know, build them up without, you know, letting that failure define them?
I think first you just have to make sure, first you encourage the kid to do the audition, even knowing that they're not going to make it, just so that they can gain the experience of auditioning for a world-class ensemble. And secondly, I would also make sure that there's no restrictions on a high school student that already has a performing ensemble, to make sure that they're not going to infringe on any of the rules of the association that they're participating in.
Yeah. Well, I think nowadays the audition process is such a different experience for the new member than when most of us did it, especially me. But we encourage it at our little school, just so they can experience something different, to see the other side of things, to see other kids their age, and see, wow, that is possible to achieve, you know, that skill level.
I think that encouraging them to have a backup plan, especially if you don't think that they're going to make their highest level team that they are auditioning for, just having like, if you're going for world class, have an A or open class program that you also are encouraging them to join, because it's totally fine to be out of high school and not go straight to world class. Not a lot of people are actually able to do that. So encouraging them to like start at the bottom and work their way up is always positive.
Okay, guys, the next up is Text a Friend. This is the part of the podcast where we have 30 seconds to try and get a friend of ours to answer a question. We don't know what the question is, and we get bonus points if we can call the person on the phone. So I'm going to throw it over to our producer, Jeremy. I don't even know the question for this one. So, Jeremy, take it away. What do you got for us?
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited that you're all here. I'm very excited to have Nicole, a part of our program, maybe joining us in more staff capacity on a water break show. Definitely. So this will be a new one for Nicole. This is a new one for everybody on the panel. Text a friend. So for those of you who don't know, the panelists are currently on their phone telling their friends, hey, I'm going to have a trivia question that's going to be asked of me, and I'm going to have 30 seconds to answer it. So in honor of this being a more color guard oriented panel with the lovely Nicole joining us, I have asked today's trivia question is a color guard question, and it is a mid-90s color guard question. Let's say almost even borders on early 90s color guard question. So those of you that are getting your text to friends ready, start reaching out to those people who might have this answer to this question. So there is a very famous WGI show, okay? Very famous mid-90s WGI show performed to, and if you know, we do not say, you all might know, we do not say, we want our text to friend to say, the show Hotel California. What group performed, and in my opinion, therefore, no one else can ever do this song ever again. By all means, Whitney, if you have a question, go ahead, girl. What you got? You don't have a question? No?
Oh, I have the answer.
Oh, she's like ready. She's like, I got the answer. You have your text-a-friend already has the answer?
Yeah, you can't have the answer.
You can't. No.
Everybody knows this. Everybody I know knows this.
Get somebody on the line. We want to hear from somebody. Who's going to have the first real, your text-a-friend answer? You got to get them to answer.
I'm rethinking my text-a-friend now.
They're not. It's not.
All I've gotten back is, oh, girl, oh.
Oh, no.
Anybody? Tom, Chris, you guys know? Chris is, but you have a text-a-friend?
I can text them, but I already know the answer.
My text-a-friend's looked at it, but he hasn't responded.
Whitney, did anybody get your answer yet?
I'm waiting for the answer.
We all know the answer. I figured everybody here, at least most people here, would go, oh yeah, I know that show. I mean, to me, that show again, is one of my gateways into this activity, is what I will say. That's probably my, one of my whys of the marching arts, is I saw that and that was it.
When we used to get those fan favorite videos, those DVDs, it's definitely on there.
It is definitely on there, and it is
definitely.
It just means it can't be done again. I mean, it's almost like you want to think of a different way to do it, but you can't. So the show, Hotel California. Does anybody know what year it was? I'll go with anybody. Yes, Chris. What do you got?
1993.
Is it 93?
I thought it was 92.
I think it's 92. Chris. Getting there. Did anybody get the answer from their text-a-friend yet?
Not yet.
No?
My text-a-friend is ignoring their messages.
All right, Whit, you did raise your hand first. Our text-a-friends have let us down.
All of them.
But what is the show, Whit?
Escapade.
Oh, wait. So I'm not kidding. Andre got that. He said it.
Wait. Hotel California is not.
Peter.
Hotel California, kids, is not Escapade.
I was going to say, isn't it?
Go ahead, Nicole. What is it?
Alliance of Miami?
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. Winner, chicken dinner. Yes.
For real?
Yes, Alliance of Miami. Yes.
Yeah, they had 3 or 4 years of just killer shows right there.
That's right. Yes. Alliance of Miami, Hotel California, that show was beyond brilliant. I actually believe Latrice Royale from RuPaul's Drag Race was in that show as one of the main.
It was phenomenal in 92.
Yeah. I mean, that show, for those of you who've not seen it, was basically that song, Hotel California. And that Hotel California show was essentially 4 people in 4 rooms of the hotel, yellow, green, blue, and red. That they stayed in there that whole time and delivered an amazing show. The rest of the color guard was all in black. They had to stay in the lines it was incredible. So if you have not seen that show, by all means, please go and check that out. So I throw it back to you, Jackie. Thanks everybody for playing Text a Friend.
Oh man, that was an amazing Text a Friend round. If you guys want our staff to help you with your next marching arts question, we have our staff standing by ready to help. Simply send us a voice recording or an email to onawaterbreak@guardcloset.com. We would love to hear about your experiences and help you out. Okay, everybody, head back onto the field for the final rehearsal chunk. And while you're heading back, it's time for a Mama Minute with our friend and social media sensation, Cindy Berry, also known as Leander Mama. Take it away, Cindy.
Hello again, band fans. I'm Leander Mama, and it's time for another Mama Minute. Today, I want to talk to you about a very serious subject, especially in Texas. The subject of what to do when marching season is over, but your school's football team just keeps on winning. What in the actual heck are you supposed to do when it's December and you're still smack dab in the middle of football season? I mean, this is the rainy season in Texas, for heaven's sake, and the beginning of winter for a good part of the rest of the country. This is not what you signed up for when your family joined the marching band. Yes, I said family. Those directors promised you a reprieve once you survived July, August, September, Bandtober, and just a little bit of November. How dare they expect you to stay focused on football games and concession stand duty and extra rehearsals when you're busy dreaming about staying in your pajamas all day, drinking holiday coffee, and doing your online Christmas shopping. I talked to a friend of mine who's a Booster Club member at the Woodlands, and she said they try and make it a little more fun for everyone, and they give the band members a little more freedom during the playoff season. They let the band kids go and buy concessions when normally they aren't allowed to, and they get to do things like pick their own seats on the buses instead of being assigned one. Now, I also asked my band friends on Instagram the same question, and I found some of their answers a little more amusing, but still helpful. They said they do things like just don't make the playoffs. They wear their Letterman jackets over their uniforms. They scream and dance in the stands. They get to sit with whomever they want. They have choreography they do during drum cadences. And finally, they survive by really getting into football. I think that last one is probably the most important. Now, as a parent, how do you avoid the burnout of a seemingly never-ending season when the school actually does have a successful football team? Well, for one thing, just keep remembering how brutally hot it was just a few short months ago and be grateful for actual sweater weather. Keep your complaints and frustrations about the long season to yourself and encourage your child to enjoy this really cool time with their friends. Continue going to the games and supporting the organization that is doing so much for your child. Yes, sometimes you actually do want to cry when the football team wins yet another game. But paste a smile on your face and make those kids think you couldn't be happier for them. This will all be over before you know it, and one day you will sit back and wonder where on earth the years went. And you'll be glad that you stuck it out all those months with your fellow band families, because these are memories that you will cherish forever. That's all for today's Mama Minute. Have a great week, everyone, and good luck to all of you who still have just a little more football to go.
On a Water Break is teaming up with Style Plus, Guard Closet, and Marching Arts Education to do some great giveaways this winter. The first is 2 $500 scholarships to 2 performers in an independent percussion, winds, or color guard competing in WGI this winter. That's right, 1 for a guard person and 1 for a winds or percussion individual. If that's not amazing enough, we will also be awarding to 2 groups a set of 20 Style Plus performance tops or a set of 20 unitards. 1 set of unitards for the winning color guard and 1 set of performance tops to a winds or percussion group. Check out more information about this opportunity on our website at onawaterbreak.com. Everyone that registers will receive a free month of service from Marching Arts Education and all their amazing educational offerings. The winners will also be invited to be panelists on our podcast throughout the winter season. You'll tell us about your experiences as a performer and your insights into what's happening in the marching arts. Again, check out our website at onawaterbreak.com for information about applying for these opportunities.
All right, it is time for quick chunks with our Gush and Goes. This is the time of the rehearsal where our staff get to gush and go on for 30 seconds about anything they want to that has to do with the marching arts. Let's go.
So Winter Guard season is starting all over the world. And I know a lot of groups are starting staging right now and learning choreography. I have friends that are traveling around the world to teach programs. So it's going down. It's happening. And we're excited for 2023 WGI.
Chris, what's your Gush and Go?
Dude, okay. So my Gush and Go is I've been working with a client on getting some new drums for his school. And we were going through the process of finding out which drum manufacturer has the lightest drums. And lo and behold, we found out that the Pearl Drum Organization has the lightest marching drums in the activity right now. It's with Ludwig, who used to be the heaviest, being second, then Yamaha, then Mapex. So very interesting to find out that these instruments have they've evolved these instruments in such a way that now Pearl is one of the very lightest drums out there, which still produces a quality sound. So that's my Gush and Go today.
That's a great gush. Way to go, Pearl.
Yep.
Tom, why don't you take it?
Yeah, so my gush is, and we're going to talk about the Macy's Day Parade, but again, I spent my morning on being able to rewind and watch what I wanted of the Macy's Day Parade, and I watched every drum line. I don't remember all the groups I saw, but I had a great time. And, I got a gush, California, Clovis North representing. I think they did California Dreaming as they went by, so that was super cool. A lot of groups, did Christmas songs and whatnot. California was representing. But my go is they just don't get enough time. They're so great and they work so hard. I wish Macy's could put together like a second day of just band performances somewhere. And, I mean, you're already there. What's one more day? All right, that's my thing. But it's all awesome. It's all awesome.
That's kind of like what they do at the Tournament of Roses, though. They have like that big marching band competition in addition to the parade.
Yeah. I mean, even like a standstill in front of Macy's would be cool with all the groups. That would be fun or something, but
Nicole,
maybe
what about you?
Maybe they're listening.
I'm sorry, Jackie, what'd you say?
What's your Gush and Go? What do you want to gush about?
I'm gonna gush the Cookout. I'm sorry, I gotta. Second year of it. We have an early bird tickets going on. Well, they're on sale now. So it's 50% off. So they're $20 right now until January 17th. So you can buy them right now for, people. We gave it out for Giving we posted about it for Giving Tuesday. It's a great Christmas present. I'll go ahead and put that in there. We'll have t-shirts on sale coming soon, probably in about 2 weeks. You can order those and they come right to your house. Let's see. If you are wanting just to donate to the cause at all, we have QR codes on both pages. So yeah, please give to the Cookout.
Awesome. I want to gush a little bit about my baby, because when we were at the Macy's parade, spending time with the Macy's band, we got to meet Fran Kick. Those of you who have heard of Fran Kick, he's a leadership instructor. He has done so many amazing leadership sessions for so many bands all across the U.S. He does all the leadership training for the Bands of America, summer symposium. I've met him multiple times, and just having to get him to meet my child, even though he's just a baby, it was really cool. We got to talk a lot about what his future is going to be like in band. And I have to gush about that a little bit because he pointed out that my baby's name being Victor is like Vic Firth. So his name is already on the drumsticks. So he's going to be a drummer. So that's my gush.
Nice.
I love that.
All right, guys. Let's take it on and go to the news segment. Whitney, do you have a news story for us today?
All right. So I was just going to do a quick rundown about who's going to be in the Tournament of Roses parade. There's quite a few. There is Al Gifu Honor Green Band from Japan, Banda de Musica La Primavera from Panama, Brookwood Bronco Marching Band from Georgia, Bujos Marching Band from Mexico, Foothills Falcon Band from Arizona, Fresno State Bulldog Marching Band from Fresno, California, LAUSD All District High School Honor Band from California, Pasadena City College Herald Trumpets from Pasadena, Pasadena City College Tournament of Roses Honor Band, the Pella Marching Dutch from Iowa, Rockford High School Marching Band from Michigan, both of the Rose Bowl game participating teams bands, Rosemount High School from Minnesota, Salvation Army Tournament of Roses Band from California, Spartan Legion Marching Band from Virginia, Taipei First Girls High School Marching Band and Color Guard from Taiwan, Triugio, maybe, Marching Band Triugio from Monza and Brianza, Italy, United States Marine Corps West Coast Composite Band, Vista Ridge High School Ranger Marching Band from Cedar Park, Texas, and Wisconsin Northwoods Marching Band from Wisconsin. Quite a few. Some really good ones.
Always blows me away how many more bands there are than like the Macy's parade.
Yeah. Significant amount more.
It's just a huge parade. I don't know if you guys have done the parade, but like it's like 5 miles of like the actual parade route, and then there's also a couple of miles to get to the parade route and a couple miles afterwards. It's crazy.
I have done the Rose Bowl parade once.
That's long.
My wife had to do it twice. Once as a member with the Pasadena City College Honor Band, and as one time with El Dorado High School as an assistant director. And she was on the opposite side of the block at the front, but the camera caught her and not the band director, and band director was none too pleased.
Hey guys, this is Trevor. I just want to interrupt for a second to give you some breaking news that we just got our hands on. Unfortunately, the Santa Clara Vanguard organization is unable to field a drum corps unit for the 2023 season. Obviously, this is heartbreaking. Our thoughts go out to the members, the staff, volunteers, administrators, friends, family, alumni of that prestigious organization. And we hope to see a great comeback in the 2024 season for SCV. Okay, now throwing it back to you in the studio.
Nicole, you have a news story that's very dear to your heart for us.
Yes, I'm originally from Virginia, and this news comes from the UVA marching band. So on their South Lawn on Friday night or Friday evening, about 7:15, the UVA marching band came together with about 100 people from the community and the school to honor those 3 football players that were fatally shot the week before. So they were honoring Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry. There was actually supposed to be a football game against Coastal Carolina that was canceled so that they could do this this memorial. They performed Nessun Dorma, they performed Amazing Grace, and they also performed You Raise Me Up, and a slowed down version of the Good Old Song, which is a song that UVA marching band plays a lot of. It was a very tender moment for the marching band, the people that attended, and for those families to see as well. It was very nice.
That is so touching. Chris, so talking about universities.
Yes.
What's your news
So
story
we
for us?
all know the most university marching bands have some type of gimmick. Like they have the drum major that with the big poofy hat and they bend over backwards and all that stuff. And some bands have big bass drums. Well, the University of Texas Longhorn Band has had one of those huge, massive bass drums, and University of Texas is one called Big Bertha, which they got after World War II for $1. That they've been using this drum on the field, Big Bertha, for many, many years, for decades, and it's finally time to retire Big Bertha. But don't be afraid, kids. They're bringing out Big Bertha 2, which will hopefully stand for another 100 years of service for the University of Texas Longhorn Band. So big shout out to Big Bertha 2. If you're into watching college football, make sure you pay attention to them wheeling out Big Bertha. She is a massive, massive drum.
Yeah, Chris, what does it say? What drum company was the original and what the new one is?
They have not released the manufacturer of the drum, but that is something that I'm going to keep looking up here.
Yeah, I wonder what the original. I mean, it's 100 years old.
Like,
gosh, it must be Ludwig. I can't imagine.
Tom, what's your news story for us today?
It's a very controversial topic.
Uh-oh.
The Academy Drum and Bugle Corps is bringing back their cymbal line.
Heck yeah, they are.
So, a lot of people are 50-50 on cymbal lines. Are they visual? Are they musically effective? I have 20 of them out there. That's how I feel about it. So, cool to them. I'm sure they'll be utilized in a great way. They're looking for like 4 or 5 folks. If you want to crash some cymbals and be part of the Academy, run on down to Arizona.
As a color guard person, as a visual person, I'm like, heck yeah, all about it. Let's get the cymbal line going in there.
Yeah, it's a nice element on the field.
All right, guys, it is time to wrap up rehearsal. Thank you so much for another great episode. Nicole, thank you for coming in and being our guest clinician this week. We hope
Thank you so much for having me.
Woo!
You're awesome.
Thank you for another great episode, everybody here. We hope that you found your time with us to be worthwhile. Tell a friend, share our link on social media, and get the word out. Don't forget about our scholarship and uniform giveaway that is coming up for the 2023 season. We're very excited to participate in that. Everybody, good luck on your run this week, and we'll see you next time.